This week, Shona is in Barcelona, which is full of the newest mobile tech, but where the wearables know too much.
How old is Spencer Kelly from the BBC?
Spencer Kelly's currently 50 years old.
Blatant lies.
To be fair, he does look good for his age.
You wish. Meanwhile, what's this? A phone you can control with just your peepers?
Also, the politics of deep fakes. We're being told not to believe everything that we see, but what do we do when the lawmakers deep fake themselves?
In the Argentinian elections, we saw both candidates using AI-generated images, making themselves look like heroes.
And should ancient artefacts stay in a museum or be taken home? It's a hot topic right now, but Alistair's been looking at a digital halfway house.
The cool thing about AR is you can see it as it looks now, but also how it will have looked in the past.
Exactly how it originally looked, right?
Welcome to Mobile World Congress, or MWC. With 1.4 billion phones sold a year, that's 28 phones a second. It's no wonder industry events like these in Barcelona take place, and I'm excited to see what's happening. From the Honor Magic V2 with its groundbreaking slimness, less than 1 centimetre when folded. It's so thin and so lightweight, this one. To Motorola's latest design that rolls round your wrist, and Lenovo's laptop with a transparent display. All the biggest names are here, fighting for my attention. One of the major talking points of the tech world has been the Samsung Galaxy Ring, and this is the first time it has been officially revealed.
I think the most important thing is to say, what value are we presenting to our users? And I would say it's in 3 areas. One is obviously the things you would expect, like steps and activity, heart rate, and then there's the area of sleep, particularly around sleep stages, movement during sleep, heart rate variability during sleep, and then lastly, women's health, using skin temperature sensors to detect trends of change to essentially predict the window of fertility for women.
So what does the medical field think about this? Do you think that there will be genuine diagnostic developments as a result of monitoring this type of data?
So I think it's an evolution. I think there is generally a blurring of the lines of what was once a consumer device versus a medical device, and those things are becoming a little blurry now.
It really does seem like it's this new minimalist era for wearables that we're seeing emerging. I can't hear anything now.
Because you are recording a video.
I'm recording a video. How did I do that? There's a real buzz around Humane AI's pin, and this is the first time it's been shown in Europe. I'm looking forward to trying this.
Here's the AI pin. There's 2 components. That one goes behind one layer of clothing, and this one just goes on top. So you can just attach like that, and that's it.
Once you clip the AI pin to your clothes with a magnet, you can talk to it. What are the 3 top sites to see while I'm in Barcelona? And it'll answer questions by voice, like your own personal assistant.
The 3 best sites in Barcelona are La Sagrada Familia, Park Güell, and La Pedrera Casa Mila.
And then there's a 2-finger gesture that I did as well. What are some great seafood restaurants around here?
Quins són els millors restaurants de marisc per aquí?
And the 2, what was the difference then between the 1 and the 2?
So 1 is just any kind of question that you might have about anything, and then 2 really is about translation. So it just locks in translation, and you can have it translate in up to 50 languages.
Wow, okay. If you don't want to hear it, then just look at the answer, which will be projected using a laser onto the palm of your hand. And to use the controls, gesture with your fingers. We've had a little demo with your husband in there. There was a few things I wanted to ask you.
Absolutely.
Because it takes photos and videos as well.
Yes.
Can you tell me how we can do that?
Yeah, so one big part of it is about allowing you to capture memories. And those memories can come in the form of things you tell it to remember. So treating it like a second brain, but also capturing moments that You normally would take your phone out of your pocket and be living your life through a display. Instead, you can use the device to do it for you. So all you have to do is do 2 fingers, quick double tap to take a picture.
Okay.
Just like that.
Right. Perfect. And you can see it's got the camera on the top there.
Yes, and so whenever the cameras are on or active, or the microphone is active, the LED called our trust light is on at the top.
Of course, it's artificial intelligence that's powering Humane's AI pin.
How old is Spencer Kelly from the BBC?
Spencer Kelly from the BBC is currently 50 years old.
50 years old? To be fair, he does look good for his age.
And AI is a strong theme for the next generation of smartphones too. Just circle what you're looking for and you get your answer.
Anything in your Instagram feed or a photograph that someone sends you, you can just circle it and immediately initiate a search result. So that's using both, obviously, visual search and AI.
And these are obviously new phones. Is it only people that are making a recent purchase that will have access to these features?
So anyone who bought an S23 or an S23 FE last year, as well as our foldables and our tablet, actually, top end of our market in tablet, you're going to get the Galaxy AI features rolled out later on this year.
But what happens to all this new technology after it's no longer fresh out the box? Well, sadly, over 5 billion mobiles were thrown away last year. Many people keep their old tech rather than recycling it. And with the growth of AI putting even more stress on networks, the need for environmental responsibility is even greater.
A newer phone in great condition might go straight back out to a customer with a little bit of a buff and polish. A broken phone will come in, it'll get repaired and go back out to another customer. And a really smashed phone will still come back in and be harvested for parts that can then be used to repair other phones.
How difficult is it to change attitudes when it comes to this type of thing?
We're going to continue to innovate, and that's a fantastic thing, and we see that here today. But if we are continuing to just consume without driving the reuse and ultimately the recycling at the end of the technology's useful life, then we are just digging more and more minerals out of the ground.
So if we really want to save the planet, it looks like it'll have to be an effort from both the phone companies and ourselves.
That was Shona, and we'll have more of the tech showcased at MWC later in the programme.
Now, it was actually on our mobile devices that augmented reality first came to prominence. You look at your screen and it'll add something virtual to the real space that you're in at the time. Originally, many may have disregarded it as something playful or just for gaming. Now, though, it's being used in healthcare, education and entertainment.
Yeah, and Alistair Keane has been to meet one artist who's using the tech to display historical artefacts found in museums around the world back in the countries they originate from.
Luti is more than just like an arts collective. We kind of intersect between like arts, tech, activism, and history. The whole inspiration for me came from a UNESCO report that said that 90% of all artwork and artifacts based in Africa actually live outside of Africa. And that was something that was deeply unsettling for me, but also something that I've always wanted to have some sort of hand to change.
Luti described their project as a digital heist. They capture objects on display in the British Museum digitally, but say this doesn't break the museum's rules, which allow 3D scanning by visitors for non-commercial use.
We're using LiDAR technology, so making scans, going around the different artifacts, scanning them, and then taking that data that we've retrieved and then using those for AR experiences, NFTs, and different installations as well.
Their most recent project involved the Rosetta Stone, an ancient slab used by Egyptians to study hieroglyphics. Using free software from the company Snap, they were able to display it virtually in Egypt.
The actual position where the Rosetta Stone is from is Citadel in Rashid. Simply, you just need a AR-enabled device, Snapchat, and then you can view that in its position in Rashid. Lens Studio has this technology called custom location AR, which is basically where you can like geolocate a digital asset or a digital thing in its actual position. See, it starts with the story, the Rosetta Stone, known as the Hajar Rashid.
And this appears before people in scale of what it is. And the cool thing about AR is you can see it as it looks now, but also how it will have looked in the past.
Exactly, how it originally looked, right? And what a lot of people don't know is that it's actually a fracture of the original stone. So part of our journey was to like actually rebuild the Rosetta Stones.
What do you hope people get out of using this and experiencing this?
With this whole like digitization of like artifacts, I see this more as something that's for the future and for the younger generation. And most of the like user base for like Snapchat is, people that are a lot younger than me, like the Gen Zs and things like that. So I saw this as like the best app, but then also because of the ease of the use for the technology.
Where and how objects are displayed is often debated. The British Museum told us there has been no formal request from the Egyptian government for the Rosetta Stone to be repatriated, and they say they work with colleagues there on exhibitions and research.
There should be at least alternative methods, right, for us to engage with culture and history, like that are commercialized as well, not just having like the institution of the museum running like the whole show.
I guess they would say, though, they are engaging in that, the very fact that you're allowed to go into the museum and take a 3D scan, and they would say they're doing this themselves and working with lots of different projects around the world.
Yeah, it's true. I want because I remember when I saw that in their terms and conditions that you're allowed to make a 3D scan, and I was just like, why they would put that in the terms and conditions? But maybe they never thought of somebody like me going in and doing this and actually thinking about, a digital repatriation. Maybe they didn't think that was something that's important, which even if you think about today, is probably not so much important today, but for the future, I definitely believe that the digital is going to be the future.